After 2 nights in Copenhagen following the airline's inaugural flight from Atlanta, I will be flying SAS back to JFK in their business cabin. I headed to the dedicated security line for SAS Business and Plus passengers, as well as frequent flyers. After going through the dedicated fast-track security lanes, I then went down this special hallway that helped these passengers skip the duty-free area. My ticket did give me access to the SAS lounge, but I'll be going over that in a separate shorter video. If you are flying outside of the Schengen area from Copenhagen, make sure to leave the lounge with enough time to go through customs, as it is before that. My aircraft for this flight over to JFK will be SEDMR, an Airbus A321neo LR, and is actually the airline's first A321neo that was delivered to them in September of 2021 and carries the name Asa Viking. And just like my Iceland Air video a couple of weeks ago, according to all the tracking websites, this is an A321neo, but according to the airline, it is an LR version.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this SAS Airlines Escape 913 bound for New York JFK. We are now ready to boarding here at gate E136 and is prior to boarding of passenger in Group 1.
As you may have heard, they did say Star Alliance. This is because I took this flight before the official switch over to SkyTeam on September 1, 2024. SAS A321neo LRs have 7 rows of business class, with the odd number rows being in a 2x2 configuration and the even number rows being in a 1x1 configuration. My seat for this flight over to JFK would be 3F. Waiting for me at my seat was an amenity kit, as well as a pillow and a blanket set. I was fortunate enough to get 2 windows for this flight. There are plenty of seat features and areas to explore, but I'll go over that more once we're in the air. Next to you around shoulder level, there's a water bottle as well as headphones for you to borrow during the flight. Before pushing back from the gate, they came around with orange juice, water, or champagne. They also came around with a menu and took our orders for the main course as well. To view their drink selection as well as their menu on board, you're welcome to pause the video. Although it's been done for many years, this is my first ever flight on a single-aisle aircraft between mainland Europe and the United States, or vice versa. Announcements on board are done in Danish and then English.
Welcome aboard to SAS and Star Alliance to Captain. We are shortly ready for departure towards New York and John F. Kennedy Airport. Flight time 8 hours and 10 minutes today. We'll be back with some more information later on, and in the meantime, please pay attention to the safety announcement. Thank you.
let's go over some of the seat features before the food comes out. This is the control panel for your seat, which turns it into a bed, reclines it, turns on a light, and even turns on the massage feature for your seat. This is a retractable remote for your IFE screen in front of you. Right under the area where the water bottle is, there's a power outlet as well as the headphone jack and 2 USB ports as well. Right next to the outlet is a more in-depth panel for the seat controls, as well as a lever to release the tray table. In the amenity kit, there were socks, an eye mask, toothpaste and toothbrush, as well as earplugs.
Kopplar upp er.
Around 20 minutes after takeoff is when they brought around the tablecloth as well as a hot towel. First they came out with warm nuts as well as a choice of drink, and I chose what they call an SAS Napolitan, which is made from vodka, Cointreau, and cranberry juice. About an hour after takeoff, they brought around the starter, followed by the main course. For my starter, I went with a mixed salad along with puffed and roasted seeds, local air-dried ham with smoky cream cheese and mustard pickled rhubarb, as well as hand-baked local bread with organic Arla Unica butter. For the main course, we had a choice of 3 options, which you can see on the menu earlier in this video. The option I chose was the smoked beef béarnaise, which had red wine sauce with thyme and pearl onions, fried potato rosti, baked heirloom tomatoes, as well as green beans. After the main course came dessert, and we had a choice of 2 options. The option I chose was the ice cream dipped in chocolate that came with fruit. The seatback screen had a lot of useful information on it, and there was an About SAS section which had videos of the carrier, a clock that displayed the time at your destination as well as the origin, instructions on how to connect to the Wi-Fi, a long selection of movies and TV shows to choose from, another short series called Ask the Pilot, and information about drinks you can order on the flight, including an SAS branded IPA. As mentioned previously, when I took this trip, the airline was still part of Star Alliance, but since then it has replaced all of those logos with SkyTeam. Now, about 2 hours after takeoff, all of the meals and desserts have been cleaned up, and passengers begin settling in for the long flight. I put my bed into the lie flat position, and I got 5 hours of relatively decent sleep, especially considering this was a daytime flight. I woke up when the flight attendants were handing out the hot towels for the pre-arrival meal. At this point in the flight, we had about an hour and a half left, and we were over New Brunswick, Canada. For the pre-landing meal, we had a choice of 2 options, either the sandwich or the vegetarian meal. The option I chose was the traditional Scandinavian open-faced sandwich, which had Atlantic shrimp, dill mayonnaise, eggs, and pickled red onions on Danish rye bread. It came with a bowl of fruit, as well as Swedish chocolate for dessert, as well as a drink of choice, which for me was bourbon.
This is from the cockpit again. We are now about 45 minutes out from New York, so we will terminate the service at the moment and start preparing the cabin for landing. And about 15 minutes before landing, I will turn on the fast seatbelt sign. New York reporting nice weather this afternoon. Right now partly cloudy and light winds from the south, and the ground temperature about 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you for flying with us today, and wish you a pleasant evening.
To Canada or Mexico. We would like to remind you that it's forbidden to take meat or fresh fruit into the United States. If you carry a pet,
For example, laptop must be safely stowed away in cabin baggage. Place your cabin baggage either under the seat in front of you or in the overhead compartment.
Nice drawing. So I haven't.
Hjärtligt välkomna till New York, John F. Kennedy. Den lokala tiden är cirka 3:30 på eftermiddagen. Av säkerhetsskäl så ber vi er behålla.
I had an absolutely wonderful time on SAS in their business class cabin from Copenhagen to JFK here in New York City. The food was absolutely fantastic and the crew was great too. From here I connect on Delta to a different city, but as I mentioned a couple times when I took this trip, SAS was still part of Star Alliance at the time, so I did need to collect my bag and change terminals. So if I took this trip now, I would be able to connect onto a Delta flight seamlessly, as they do have a code share and baggage agreement with Delta here at their JFK hub, along with other Delta hubs that SAS flies to.